Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every single week. I'm Bob.
I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
How have you been?
All right. Trick or Treat and Trick or Treat finally got here.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So that's kind of cool.
Oh, we need to rewatch that before.
What, Ragman?
Yeah, we need to rewatch that at some
When
point.
it doesn't look like shit?
So it doesn't look like shit, yeah.
That's fair.
We also need to watch that Charles Band thing.
Oh, the thing from the convention?
Yeah.
That is a Halloween special thing?
Yeah, we never got around to that. We need to watch that. Have you got anything you want to talk about before we get to the news today, Ben?
I'll do it. Tony Todd died.
Oh, no, that was part of the news.
I know, it's my news.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Tony
he died at
Todd
69,
died.
though.
He did
so
die at 69.
It's cool.
So that's pretty damn
cool going as he was living.
Yeah, no, that sucks. That's one of, something that makes me so upset is that we haven't gotten to any of the, famous Tony Todd films.
I have.
Well, yeah, we have it for the podcast.
I met him.
And now he's dead. And if I really like the movies, I'll never get the chance to, see him or anything. That sucks.
He was super cool.
He seemed really cool. From everything I saw online and, on his Twitter and stuff, he seemed really, really nice.
He's very much you can tell he's an actor.
I hate it. I hate it. They just keep dying on us, Ben. What are we gonna do?
Spend more money to go to conventions.
Oh, we've already spent so much.
I've spent so much.
Well,
what are you talking about?
That's fair. Okay. I actually don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. I haven't really seen anything interesting coming out. I haven't really seen any good trailers. I'm kind of we're just chilling after the release of Terrifier 3, honestly.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. The main reason I haven't seen it is because A, I don't have time. But B, when I do have time, I tend to spend it with my girlfriend, and she won't go see it.
I mean, that's fair.
She just refuses. And you know what? I get it, because I told her what happens in the first one, and she about passed out just by me explaining it.
Probably worse than the first one, but probably better than the second one as far as score goes.
Yeah. I can't put her through that. I think she'd probably break up with me.
So what I'm saying is you got to put her through the second one first, and then by comparison,
The first one won't hurt as bad?
the third one won't hurt as bad.
Oh, yeah.
It might. It depends on what you have issues with.
I guess that's fair.
If you don't have any more news,
I don't have any more news.
I have something else we can do really quick.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You ready to be shamed again?
Oh, fuck.
Bob,
No.
did you post those memes I made for killer condoms? So, at the beginning of this season?
No, I have not.
Are you going to post them before this episode comes out?
Hopefully.
No, you're not.
Look, here's... I'm gonna be really honest. I just actually keep forgetting. It's not on purpose.
Bob, I would believe you if at the end of the last episode I didn't go, hey, Bob, you want to post those right now after we hit the stop button? And you went, nah, I'll do it when I get home.
I was very, very, very tired last time.
You could do it after we're done with this part of the recording.
We could.
But you're not going to.
You're right.
This is why you don't post it. You just refuse to post it.
I mean, I'm not refusing to do it.
You know you are. Anyways, podcast part of the podcast?
I mean, I guess. I guess we can move on.
All right. Well, we have one spot left in every category now.
We do. We're down to one across the board.
So what do you want to finish first? We got killer objects, tiny creatures, and then finally true crime kind of stuff. Choose wisely.
So I'm really trying to figure out how I'm going to set up the end of the season. But after the awful week we had last week, I mean, that movie was truly atrocious. And I had an awful time.
It literally can only go up from there.
It can only go up. But my thing is, now I'm hesitant to pick the last tiny creature film. Because I don't know what the fuck it's going to be. I know you say it's better than Ghoulies, but Ghoulies was the bottom of the barrel.
I told you that. I told you had one okay option and then one atrocious option.
But it was worse than worse. Worse than bad. You know what I'm saying? It was really, really, really bad.
Are you saying you want to get rid of tiny creatures this week?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying I don't want to touch it because I'm afraid. I'm saying I want to go to killer objects because I want to save true crime for the last episode because it'll probably be a good movie.
Okay.
So killer objects. Last number. I don't know which one I haven't taken yet. So
It looks like 3.
3. Let's go.
All right. Today we're watching a film from 2020.
A film from 2020? Holy shit.
Entitled Slaxx.
Slats?
Slaxx.
Slacks? Like pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Description. Beauty kills.
Sure.
Length, it's an hour and 17 minutes long.
That's really short.
It's rated TVMA.
TVMA? What the fuck is this shit, Ben?
Well, see, if you don't pay for, let's say, a movie rating, but you're being posted on, like, I don't know, for instance, a streaming site, you get a TV rating instead. Normal stuff.
I see.
Review scores. IMDb gave it a 5.4 out of 10. Tomato Meter gave it a 96%. And an audience score of 44%.
This might be a good movie.
For awards, it has 1 win and 1 nomination. Notable actors are Romaine Dennis as Libby McLean. She was Megan in Slut in a Good Way.
Oh my god.
Brett Donahue as Craig. He was Tex from Private Eyes. He was on 6 episodes between 2019 and 2021. Sahar Bojani as Shruti. They were Elise Watson from The Handmaid's Tale on 1 episode in 2018. Stephen Bogart as Harold Lansgrove. He was Mr. Marsh in It 2017. Do you remember who that is?
Yes.
Who is it, Bob?
It's isn't it one of the kids' dads?
Yes, but do you remember whose dad that is?
Yeah, the girl's dad.
Yeah.
Real piece of shit.
A piece of shit. I'm glad we could establish that. Kenny Wong as Lord. He was Witness in Death Wish. Tiana Nori as Barb Labotsky. She was Joanna in The Sublet. And Hannah Talbot as Gemma. They were Clara in Ready or Not. And then finally, Erica Anderson as Peyton Jules. They were Maya Wilson in Killer Prom. This film's directed by Elza Kefart. One of the things she's also directed is Go in the Wilderness. Kefart is also one of the writers. She, alongside Patricia Gomez, another one of the writers, I believe both wrote Graveyard Alive, which is a film they did together in 2003. Couldn't find anything on the budget or the box office. Although I think the box office is not applicable if you picked up on the cues. Well, sort of. Country of Origin's Canada.
Oh,
so it is technically a foreign film. Technically. And I couldn't find a tagline for the film either. Like, the poster just doesn't have them.
I assume it's just a picture of pants.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
And a butt.
Oh, well.
Because, they're in the pants.
Yeah, well, that's normally where butts go. In pants.
Well,
I said normally.
In winter and fall.
In winter and fall what?
That's when you wear pants. The rest of the time you wear, like, shorts.
I wear pants year-round.
I know, you're disgusting.
Oh, goddamn. Coming at me like that.
As for facts, only thing I got is that Slaxx premiered digitally as part of the Fantasia International Film Festival in August 2020. From what I can tell, it was a little confusing because, again, very small film. It's kind of hard to find information on. But it looks like the film did receive a wider theatrical release across Canada.
Oh, okay.
Not sure about that because distribution rights were bought by Shudder. So it's a Shudder original now. So I'm not sure how that ended up working out because I think they bought it after they said they were going to do distribution in Canada. But in either case, distribution for like everywhere else has been done through Shudder, which is where we're going to watch it today.
Oh, okay.
Because I already pay for Shudder and I'm not going to buy it.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a movie called Slaxx, Benjamin.
Yeah?
You don't need to own it, probably. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I'm optimistic about this one because pants, not the thing I expected.
No, that's true.
I'm
expected
hoping
Killer Bong.
Killer Bong, anything else for real.
Thought I should throw you a curveball.
No, I'm excited about this one. Hopefully it's good. Because if you had one bad movie, one great movie, then maybe this one will also be really good. Hopefully. In this category, I mean.
We'll see. You ready?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, we'll be back in a second.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished watching Slaxx.
2 X's.
With 2 X's, yes. Ben did not tell me that before. I assume it was spelled like slacks, just how you would spell pants.
Nah, because they're killer pants. Slaxx.
Double X.
Yeah. Anyways, what'd you think?
It was fine.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's one of the ones where I was not blown away by it, but I can appreciate what it was trying to do.
Better than expected is kind of the way I describe it.
Also better than expected, yes.
with that being said, I guess we're going to do our usual thing here at the beginning. I'm going to give it a brief little rundown, and then we'll get into actual spoilers. As always, we recommend you watch this movie blind. I think that's the fun way to watch movies, especially if you have Shudder already, because it is free on there. And it's only like, what, an hour essentially?
Yeah, it's like a little over an hour. It's not bad.
I think it's worth it. A decent little watch if you want to watch a fun little Killer Pants film. With that being said, what the plot of this film is about is it's about this girl, Libby. I believe that's her name.
You got her name right. I was surprised.
And she is 16 to 35.
I would say 16 to early 20s.
Probably. I don't know. But in either case, she starts working at this this place called the CCC. It's the Cotton something Clothier?
It's like the Canadian Cotton Company.
It is the Canadian Cotton Clothier. That's what it is. And there's some killer pants there.
Yeah.
So if that sounds interesting, check it out. With that being said, we are going to get into spoilers now. Is there anything you want to start with, Bob?
Sure. We can start with the fact that, yes, this is a movie about killer pants, which in and of itself is a ridiculous concept.
No, most of the killer object films are ridiculous concepts.
Because, like, how could pants kill people? Like, there are only so many ways. This movie does a good job at stretching that.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I'll say is it makes the pants actually effective at killing.
Yeah.
In a way that doesn't feel too much of a reach.
No, not at all.
For instance, Bob's never seen rubber. But the way that tire kills people do not make sense for a tire to do.
I see.
But in this, it does kill people in, I think, realistic-y ways.
It's,
as realistic as Magic Pants could.
Yeah, that's my point.
Like strangulation, zippers can cut stuff.
Yeah.
Squeezing.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my thing is like, if you make a film like this, you have to go one of two ways. Either go over the top, ridiculous, goofy, cartoonish violence, or the way this movie took it and do it kind of seriously.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool because I didn't expect it to be serious whatsoever. I expected something a bit wacky and zany. But it was fairly grounded and still had funny moments.
Yeah, I think along a similar vein, the two things that surprised me with this movie, besides the fact that it wasn't like atrocious,
I expected it to be really bad.
Is I think the gore was pretty decent.
Not bad at all.
It didn't look very expensive. It was this whole film feels relatively cheap, well produced, but still, cheap. But I think they did a lot with their budget. It's a single location movie. They're stuck in this store the whole time because there's a lockdown. And a lot of the kills are just like, you don't really see them. You just see a ton of blood. But I think they do a good job of like stretching stuff. Especially there's one kill in particular involving the Lord himself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that one I thought turned out pretty decent.
Yeah. And I think
it's just over the top, not convincing, but it works with this film.
It works because it's Killer Pants. That's why it works. Because, like, if Killer Pants were to kill someone, it would have to be in a ridiculous way. It can't be too serious.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes the film sort of funny is, like, all of these characters are taking this very seriously and are genuinely terrified, and watching them be scared of pants is really funny.
Yeah, and I think they do a good job of justifying it with those kills.
Yeah, because if you see what the pants did to some of these people, you would probably also be scared.
The other thing I think they do a good job of, maybe not good job, but like one of the things that surprised me was that there seems to be like a little message built into the background.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was cool.
It's a nice little addition that they're kind of going for a broader theme than just, killer pants.
Yeah.
In the same way that I think killer condoms did. But the difference is I didn't feel like it was as effective as it could have been. It was kind of just the background story behind the Killer Pants existence. Mm-hmm. And while it was interesting, I kind of wanted it to be fleshed out more. Yeah,
because like I was saying, part of what I think makes this movie interesting is that it takes a semi-serious tone and mixes it with a ridiculous concept, and adding this background thing that is actually a real societal issue
Yeah.
and problem sort of feels a little weird when you're looking at Killer Pants, because it's like you want this societal problem to be like interwoven into the messaging, but because the topic is too serious, weaving it into the ridiculous concept is hard.
Yeah, and I think that is probably part of why the execution was great. But the other thing is I just don't think they gave us enough.
There's also not enough of it, yeah.
And honestly, that's probably my biggest complaint with this movie is we use this term a lot, but it's essentially a nothing film.
Yeah.
Like, none of our characters felt well developed enough.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere.
Because, like Bob said, they don't go anywhere. But also, like, our main character is just started working at the store, Libby. And usually that'd be a good excuse to have, like, the character and us as the audience get introduced to these other employees. But the film doesn't do that. It just throws us into a story already in motion. And while I like that for films, I just thought this one didn't carry it effectively. And none of our characters were interesting enough or well fleshed out enough to care about their deaths or even what's happening in the story. Like, there's this whole through line on top of the whole societal message it's doing, that they're doing a Monday like blowout sale or whatever, and I don't care. Like, yeah. I don't care about anything that's happening, and the pants aren't on screen enough to carry everything else.
Yeah,
they're there a lot, but they can only take you so far.
That's fair. I will say I think the choice of making all the characters super surface level and very, I don't know, I would say expendable feels very purposeful when you look at the messaging of the film and what it's trying to do when it's talking about like consumerism and all of these like things tied to spending money and stuff like that.
Maybe, but again, it's one of those issues of like, you can go for that theme in your film, but you have to be able to pull it off without the film being negatively impacted.
Nail the theme and not make an entertaining movie.
Yeah. Honestly, the character I liked the most was I forget her name.
Which one?
The Indian lady.
Shruti?
Is it Shruti?
Yeah.
I thought she was the most compelling.
I liked her
because honestly, she was the only one behaving like a real human being in a retail store. And there's like, I don't know, maybe 10 actually fleshed out characters. So that's
Less
the
than
only
10
one
for sure
that was interesting because they were like a real person and they don't get much screen time. So
yeah,
if that's an issue, obviously.
I mean, I think the whole thing they were going for is they wanted all of these characters to sort of fill archetypes. Like, what's his name? Craig is like the overly zealous store manager. You kept calling him Michael Scott during the movie.
I know. He's essentially Michael Scott if he was a psychopath.
Yeah, if Michael Scott was actually crazy.
It's one of those things, again, where I get trying to write characters that feel like stereotypical roles in like a work environment. But again, it just didn't pull it off.
Yeah, they're just a little too flat in a lot of ways. They're too like one-dimensional, and I need more.
Yeah. And that's just...
Because I think if the characters are more three-dimensional and have more depth, then you can work in the background story for the pants in a much more natural and cohesive way, and it could really make the rest of the film work a lot better.
And also carry the sections that aren't gore.
Yep.
Because the pants are featured a lot, but when they're not killing people, it's just kind of them moving around.
Which is cool.
And it's a nice effect most of the time. But watching pants like move across the floor or something is only interesting for
so long.
Yeah.
The pants do other things that are interesting, though.
But it's just, again, too much of that.
Yeah.
And not enough killing. And then too much people time because it's not interesting. Not enough pants. I don't know. It's just one of those films where, like, it's executed way better than I expected it to be.
100%. If you told me Killer Pants, I would have thought, like, the movie would be so much worse.
Because I was just expecting nothing.
Same.
But I think they did pull it off in a good way. Like, the pants move in a very similar way to Killer Condoms.
Yeah, they do.
Like, they're nice. They're still, like, pants. They're not, like, they don't have eyes or teeth or anything. They're just kind of puppeted in a way that looks realistic. And that's really cool. But, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because it just really doesn't feel like it goes anywhere with the ideas and themes it put up together.
Yeah. I think my final thoughts are this is an okay movie, and it could have been a great movie.
Yeah.
And that's, surprising, but,
Yeah, I think the things that are keeping it away are, some of the budgetary stuff, because I think that was the real thing keeping them away from more kills that are on screen and shown.
Probably.
And then just, I think maybe the script needs some more work. I did think the cinematography wasn't bad.
No, there were plenty of shots from the pants POV, which I thought were interesting.
It was fine, and then they had some nice little CTV stuff kind of mixed in as well.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool, using the security cameras of the place.
So yeah, I for a small little independent film like this, I thought it was nice to see.
Yeah,
I'd be excited to see other things these people do.
Same, it was pretty cool.
Because I do see the structure for something much better.
Oh yeah,
definitely worth a watch. I think. I can definitely see why people gave it 40%.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a little boring, and I can also see why critics would eat this up because it has some deeper messaging and good effects.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say though?
I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah. That was one of the issues with this film is we were watching it and I was like, there's nothing here. But in either case, you want to give it recommendations?
Sure. If the concept of Killer Pants sounds interesting, I think this is probably the best version of that you could really get without going insane and just doing something just off the rails.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot worse killer object movies I saw.
Oh, for sure, probably.
Well, looking at this category.
I think Maximum Overdrive is probably a worse movie than this.
Yeah, but it has some more ironic value to it.
That's fair.
Than this one does.
That's fair. If you want a horror movie set in a single location, I think that this is a fairly cool single location film because it doesn't feel very isolated. It feels like you get a lot of different smaller micro locations within the location, and I think that that's fun and interesting.
Yeah, it looks like an Old Navy.
It does look like an Old Navy, but you go to the stock room, the main floor, there's an office area, there's a break room. It
reminds me of working retail.
Yeah, but it's cool because when they said they're going to be locked down, I thought we were going to be in one room the whole movie, and I was going to lose my mind. That would make me want to,
I don't know how you'd pull that off, because, everything's in the open.
Yeah, exactly.
The
but I'm
floor.
glad that we got, a bigger store, so they were able to, progress through it and stuff like that, and I think that's interesting. If you want to support, a smaller budgeted film, this one's cool. I really like it.
Yeah, that was going to be, my recommendation, but I will say it was bought out by Shudder, so I'm not sure, how that plays over.
I don't know.
But yeah, if you want to watch, I think a small indie film from Canada, I think it's kind of fun. And if you just want to try a Killer Pants movie, I think it's worth a watch for the concept alone.
That's fair.
Even if you don't like it, you could do something else while you watch the movie. I think the kills alone are probably worth that watch for me.
That's worth.
They were
That's
just
fair.
fun.
There was one that was very good.
With that being said, rating?
I'm in a little bit of a pickle because it's okay overall, and I liked it in general. There are a couple things I have problems with, but I will say, and I haven't really talked about this yet, this movie does a really good job at setting up the pants as scary, at least in the beginning, because it's a slow reveal of what's going on, and I think the first kill is extremely brutal.
Yeah.
And it really sets the tone and makes them sort of terrifying. And
without showing a lot.
Without showing a lot. And I think that that's really tough to do in a ridiculous movie like this, where it's Killer Pants, how can that be scary? And then you watch it and you go, oh, that's horrifying. So I think instead of giving a 3, I think I'm going to go with a 3.5 because I think pulling that off deserves some points.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm kind of in that same boat where this movie's completely passable, and I'm honestly hovering between a 2 and a 3, honestly, because I think this movie has some really good points to it, but it also was just boring, at least for me. I didn't have a very entertaining watch besides for a few scenes that were oh, that's kind of cool.
That's fair.
And I think that is the biggest issue this film has. There was potential and some good execution, but I wish there was just more to it. So I think I'm going to do the opposite thing of Bob and give it 2.5.
That's fair.
Kind of balance it out as 3, which I think is fair. I think it was just passable.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see it.
Okay. With that being said, I guess we're going to go to the outtakes. I don't know if we'll have anything this week. We didn't last week.
Well, this is a much better film than Ghoulies.
That is fair.
So hopefully there'll be
You know
something
what?
in here.
That's a great recommendation. If you like Ghoulies, this is like better.
This is a masterpiece compared to Ghoulies.
Less ironic humor in this, though.
Yeah.
But, it's on Shudder. Why not check it out?
That's fair.
But we'll be back in a second.
Yeah. See you guys in a sec. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you're enjoying our review of Slaxx so far. I really like this movie. I think it'd be a fun time with friends. But without further ado, let's get into the outtakes. This first clip is our reaction to the very first kill of the film. Oh!
I think those jeans are too tight.
Yeah. Oh!
Auntie Flo really came early.
That was gross, man.
That wasn't that bad. Out of all the things we've seen, that was actually really light.
No, but there's something about that just ruined. Oh. No, that did something to me, dog. I can't handle that.
All right, Bob, I guess never wear jeans again.
It's not. I don't know, man. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the outtakes. Do we have any announcements, Ben?
Usual spiel. My birthday episode's coming out this month.
True.
So is the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And then next month in December, we have Christmas and technically New Year's.
Comes out January 1st.
Depending on how you judge that holiday falling.
Yeah.
Aside from that, usual spiel. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other specific podcast streaming platforms. If you're checking out us on any of those sites, please give us a quick review or rating. That really helps us out with getting seen on those platforms. You could also recommend us to a friend. We really appreciate that because that's probably the best way to spread the podcast around. Divide us up between multiple, objects, people, however you want to say it.
I didn't know what you were saying there. I didn't know where you were going. I was very concerned.
Otherwise, you can check us out on YouTube, which is not the best for audio-only content. Is really nice for showing us some love. We can see likes, subscriptions, stuff like that on all our videos. And it's probably the best way for us to go, like, hey, people are watching this. That's kind of cool. Because our RSS feed is not very handy for that. There is a couple cool tools if you're checking us out on YouTube. There's a search button which you search key terms in all our movies or our episodes so you can check like movie titles and stuff like that. There's also a bell button which lets you get notified whenever we post something new. In case we post something out of our usual Friday schedule. So, birthday episode, Thanksgiving, the Evil Dead stuff when it eventually comes out.
One of these days.
The really big thing with YouTube is it's one of the two major places to communicate with us at. You can do that in the comment section of a specific video, or you can go over to Twitter, @BewareTheBoard, and go talk to Bob, Maybe send him your fit.
Well, as long as the pants aren't the super shapers, I think we'll be okay.
I don't know. They were a nice pair of pants.
They were a nice pair of pants, but I don't think you'll like what they're going to do to you.
All right. Maybe send Bob some like cool embroidery you did on the back of something.
Like Ben said, check us out on Twitter, @BewareTheBoard. It's where we post updates about the show, information about the show. Basically, if there's anything you want to know about the show, it goes on our Twitter. On Mondays, I post a spoiler post for that week's worth of episodes, which is a hidden movie cover you can reveal, so you can watch the film before we do. So whenever you listen to the episodes, you don't need spoilers or being vague about stuff, you know what we're talking about. Then on Fridays, or whatever other day an episode goes live, I always post a link to the episode on our Twitter, so if you ever miss an upload or want to look someone up, there's always a link there. Last thing, we do short form content for the show over @BewareTheBoard on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. So if you like short form content and want to support the show, check us out over there, @BewareTheBoard on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. Benjamin, I think we're done.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week for an episode.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
We'll see you guys next time.